Hello, everyone. This is Daughter of Yahweh. I'm back again. This is my part two. Today is January 1st, 2024. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into the message. I have to give you guys a little background so you can understand my dreams. I used to work for Old Navy many years ago. It was a two-level store that was known for generating a lot of business. This store made a lot of money, but as the bad economy approached in 2008 or 2009, the store could not hold on because of its location in a failing mall. The failing economy led to a corporate decision to shut this store down. I believe this store closed in maybe sometime around 2010. So I had this dream in July of 2022 um, with the everything was just about Old Navy in this dream. So in this dream, Old Navy reopened. I went back to work there. So keep in mind, remember I said this store got shut down. So the store got shut down and then it reopened, and I went back to work, and all of the same coworkers came back. I worked for a little while in the dream. I wasn't there long. As I began to leave, I walked to the front of the store where small items were sold that were not clothing, things like earrings, jewelry, bath salts, household items. I began to look through this section and found some candles that I really liked. They seemed to be blue green in color, maybe similar to a turquoise. They were really small and short candles that came in a package together. Maybe 10 or more small short candles in one package, but different shapes and sizes. They were carved and very decorative. So the photo that I have in front of you doesn't fully represent what I saw. Although the candles were short, they were also carved, almost like little idols, like a little small statue. Or the candles were shaped more like a figurine, but I can't remember how they were shaped, if they were little people or if they were trees. I just remember they were carved, they were shaped, they weren't like what you see. This just shows you that the candles were short. And I believe that part of the dream has more than one interpretation. But anyway, so they were different shapes and different sizes. They were carved and decorative. They were really pretty, and I really wanted them, but they were too expensive. That tiny pack of candles was $19. When I saw the price, I put them back and left the store. As I walked out of the mall, and it was nighttime, one of my coworkers had walked out behind me. As I walked to my car towards the end of the parking lot, I assumed that my coworker, who this person was a tall white male, and he was also a bully. He was heading towards another car to go home or maybe to a bus stop. That's what I wanted to think. I wasn't sure of where he was really going. I tried not to think that he was following me, but once I got to my car and unlocked the doors and I got in to pull off, my coworker, he quickly jumped into my car before I could tell him not to get in. Once he got in, he looked pitiful. He wasn't violent and he wasn't demanding. He quietly let me know that he didn't have a way home. And I felt sorry for him and pulled off to take him home. And so that's the end of the dream. And what's sticking out to me about the character, about my coworker, um, remember I said this person is a bully. This is a tall white male, and I'm not really sure how to explain this, but normally in especially in the retail world, there's just certain people who, when you look at them, you kind of see them as more of the type that would have more of an authoritative or management type position. This guy didn't look like the type of person who should have been a lower level employee. Um, and also the way he was so humble. This person was is a bully, but when he got into my car, yeah, he forced his way in, but he did it out of desperation. He wasn't demanding, and he wasn't being a bully when he got into the car. I believe that's just showing the humbleness, that some people are going to be humbled when these type of scenarios come to pass and play out. Um, he he's the type of person where this person is not normally this humble. And I believe that the times that are coming, the times that are ahead, are going to be so desperate, that it's going to humble people, and it's going to cause people to to just to be different. Just to some people are just going to be humbled by desperate times. That's the best way that I can explain that. And also, I remember when I woke up from this dream, the main thing that I could definitely see and notice about the dream are the short candles. The short candles represent a energy shortage, um, energy shortage and high cost, which we are. Many people can say, and of course, the media is telling you we're already there, but we're not in a what I would call a crisis. My dreams are showing a crisis type situation. So this guy had no car. The guy that forced his way in, he had no car. He was desperate, and he was forcing his way to get help. So that's just showing you just how desperate the times are going to be. This is the direction that this country is heading towards. So I'm going to get back into my notes. So, like I said, the first thing that I noticed about this dream was the short candles, the high prices, which represents energy shortages and high cost. The bully had no car, and he pulled a desperate move to get home. He was obviously too embarrassed to ask for help in front of our coworkers, which is why he pulled what he pulled. This whole scenario shows that we are headed for desperate times. We are headed towards a time where people may have to come up with alternatives to home heating and cooling. There may be a day where you want to turn on your thermostat to heat or cool your home, and the energy or natural gas may not be available. Gas stations may have limited supplies of gas and extremely high prices. Will there be a day where there is no gas at the pump? That is a possibility. My dream is showing that anything energy or fuel related is going to be cut short. That goes for electricity, more power outages and blackouts as well. I wouldn't be surprised if things such as batteries, candles, and flashlights, um, if they become hard to find. Also, people who work low wage jobs, it's going to be almost impossible for people to get by on low wages. You're going to have to depend on others, um, and definitely lean and depend on God. People are going to have to stick together in order to make it. People are literally going to be living on a wing and a prayer, but Yahweh's children will be provided for. Theft will get worse than what it is now, and there will be a day when you won't be able to call the police, or the police just won't be available. Also, a serious low energy fuel crisis may also lead to a higher demand for alternative cooking. methods such as grilling, higher demand for solar panels, possibly chimney building, and wood. So that's the end of my notes for that particular dream. Um, Also, I wanted to mention that the um, the short candles, the way that they were carved, um, they also reminded me of having idols. How some people have these little Buddhas and different things in their homes. I'm not sure what the carvings really represented, but it could be idols. There's a chance that we're going to see idols being cut short. And I'm going to save that message for another video. There's a lot that can be said about that. We have been seeing that in the past recent years, but we're in a moment in time right now where it's a season of exposure. So, yes, we have been seeing some idols cut short, but I think we're headed toward a time where we're going to see more major idols cut short, more bigger names. Um, yeah, I'm just going to keep going on with my notes, and I'm going to continue with this video because I want to stay on subject. So, yeah, just like COVID caused a shutdown of the economy, we saw a domino effect of supply shortages and goods not making it into the country from overseas. Okay, so I want to go into my second dream. I had my second dream in about October of 2022. And just keep in mind what I just said about COVID, because that's a recurring theme also in my dreams, where something that was shut down has now all of a sudden it's reopening, just like our economy reopened. And things slowly went to where things appear to be going back to normal. So my next dream that I had in October of 2022, it says, I was working at Old Navy in Columbia Mall. The store had been reopened. The same co-workers were back. Yeah, and the lights were bright. The store seemed to be busy. There was a lot of movement and activity as I walked out of. I'm sorry, guys, I'm struggling with my notes. As I walked out of the back office, I was on the top level, second floor of the store. I walked through and saw that the women's department was full of merchandise. Everything looked like it was going back to normal. The men's section was full as well. But when I went down the escalator to the first level of the children's clothing store, of the children's clothing section, the infant and toddler section was not restored or replaced. The boys section was not full of merchandise. Walls had been moved forward because there was not enough merchandise to fill in all of downstairs. Walls were brought forward to block where the infant and toddler section was in the back and to block off half of what the boys section was. The girls' right side of the store was extended back to the infant and toddler side, but the merchandise was thin. And so I know this part of my notes, some of you may not understand. If you are not a person who has worked retail, or if you have not worked in a mall setting, you may not understand what I'm saying when I said the walls have been moved forward. Um, when you have stores that are in malls, you can change the size of your floors. You can change the walls. The walls can come forward. Walls can be moved back. It depends on what you, as the owner of the store, how you want the inside of that store to appear. So if you want a smaller floor size, you can move those walls in. Some of the walls inside of these stores, especially in mall areas, those walls are not permanent. They can be moved at any time. So if you want to shorten a section because you don't have enough merchandise, you can do that. Malls do it all the time, but because people, if you're not in a mall every day, you're not gonna um, notice it maybe, or maybe you will notice it, but you can't figure out, okay, why does this store look different? So things like this happen on a regular basis, and that's what I saw in this dream, where the top level of the store, where the adult section was, everything was normal up there. The walls were where they had always been. The men's side was full, the women's side was full. But once you walk downstairs into the children's area, the walls had to be brought in some because there wasn't enough merchandise to fill up all of the space. So the bottom level was made to be smaller than the top level. The girls section had clothes that were scarcely spread out. So even though they moved the walls, there still was barely enough merchandise to fill in the space that they had available. The clothes on the boys' side did not look good, neither did the girls. I picked up a shoe in the girls' department to look at it. The bottom of the shoe was made like a sneaker. The top was made like a sandal. It was an ugly green color. I hung it back on the wall and felt sorry for the children that this is what they had to choose from. The other shoes on the wall were very ugly. So that's the end of that dream, and it is very plain to see here in this dream that this is dealing with this is concerning a clothing shortage. Um, there are some other clues in that dream as well. So I'm going to get back to my notes on what I wrote about this dream. So, like I said, just like COVID caused a shutdown of the economy, and we saw the domino effect of supply shortages and goods not making it into the country from overseas, there's going to be another event, which I do believe is war, that's going to cause the same thing, but it's going to be even worse. The warnings are coming now because we still have time to prepare. This country going to war, I believe, is one reason for severe supply shortages. But there may be other events that will cause shortages as well. So I'm not ruling out another outbreak. I'm not going to rule out other things, but definitely, Yahweh is definitely showing me war. So the first thing that I noticed about my second dream is that it's showing a clothing shortage for children, and much of what will be available will be of poor quality. The infant and toddler section was completely gone, so it looks like many women are going to have to learn how to sew. Now would be a good time to invest in sewing machines. They are going to be needed. I also noticed in this dream how on the top level of the store, everything looked normal, but on the bottom level, it was horrific. There was no one down there. There weren't workers, no customers. It was unwanted and undesirable, ugly and bare. This represents what's going on in the American economy right now as we speak. They are making everything look good or normal on the surface, but beneath their lies, beneath all of the lies and the facades is an ugly truth. Just like after COVID, the media kept saying that we are going back to normal and that unemployment is down and that the economy is better. They know how to lie and make things look good on the surface. But the truth is, America is in trouble. And all of this trouble is going to have a terribly negative impact on the youth of this country. The history of there being a shutdown and then reopening is going to repeat itself, which is going to lead to this scenario. There will not be a full recovery. Things are going to keep getting worse and worse. So we're now in a situation where we just had the holidays and everything. I guarantee you a lot of people are comfortable. A lot of people are thinking, everything is okay. We're now back to normal. There's nothing else to be concerned about. And also, I believe that everyone is being distracted right at this moment with what's going on, in the area of social media with all of the exposure and different things going on. It's kind of taking people's minds off of other things as far as the war. And I know that myself, I am very busy. I don't have time to really keep up with the news like that. I only know what God has been revealing to me. So the only thing that I can think of now to talk about is I know that we are headed towards war. There's going to be a lot of foreign conflict. And so Old Navy is a clothing store where everything is made in a foreign country. Therefore, foreign conflict will cause a lack of clothing and accessories that are not made in the U.S. And Old Navy is not the other store. Most of our stores that we go in and we buy merchandise, when we look at the label, it will all say made in China or made in Pakistan, made in India, made in any country that you can probably point to on a map. Most of our goods are made outside of the US. So if things ever get better for this country, it is going to be short-lived. Yes, we are experiencing that short-lived. It will definitely be God's mercy for us to not get too comfortable and to prepare for further judgment of this country, which I have spoken about. I've spoken of previously in other videos that a lot of what's about to happen and a lot of what's going on right now um, is due to judgment. So keep in mind, this country is still under judgment. Things may be kind of comfortable right now, but there are some others who are feeling the struggle. There are some who are not employed right now. And, you know, I mean, you can tell by looking at the news that there's some people that's just struggling because theft is up now, but I'm telling you, it's about to get worse. Um, we're just not at the tipping point yet, but we're about to be there. We're headed in that direction. Okay. So that's the end of my message for now. Um, there's so much more that I can say about, energy and different things like that. So keep in mind that, you're God is warning us ahead of time to be prepared. Look for, start preparing for alternative cooking, alternative heating, alternative, cooling or whatever it may be. Um, but like I said before, also just be prepared. Pray and let God lead you. Let Yahweh lead you in the direction that you need to go. Um, a lot of people are. I'm seeing a lot of people getting solar panels. Save up on wood. Um, but all in all, get all of your directions from God. Stay in prayer. Pray for your families. And thank you for listening to this message. I'm going to do a part 3. There's so much more that I can say that relates to what's going on now with this war, so-called war that began in October of 2023. So, yeah, go ahead and look forward to that part 3. Please like, share, and subscribe, and God bless.